What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You guys see that box behind me? Yep, I don't know how we were able to fit that in the trunk, but in today's video, we're going to be installing a carbon intake system thanks to Venturi. I highly recommend taking it to an actual professional mechanic that can install this for you guys, because a lot of things can go wrong during this install. I'm sure you guys don't want anything to happen to your car, but I want to be able to install this myself today so that way I can better understand the car. I like doing this kind of work when it's like not insanely complex. Sure, it's pretty complex to install a carbon intake system because you do have to take away all the air boxes and expose the turbos, and that's the only part that I'm kind of worried about. You guys remember this driveway? Yup. If you guys are wondering how I got the box in there, yep, I have no idea either. But right now, all we gotta do is take it out, unbox it, and it's actually beautiful, so I wanna show you guys. Look at those details. Oh my goodness. Huge shout out to Venturi for hooking up this beautiful masterpiece of a carbon air intake. Now that we have all of these unpacked, now the real work begins. This air box over here, this air box over here, all of this is gonna have to come out. So if you're kind of like me and you don't read directions, now is the time to, because you really don't want to mess this up. Good thing about the Venturi instructions is that it comes with pictures, so even dummy like me can do this. But like I said before, you probably want to take this to a professional to install your carbon intake on your $150,000 car. But I'm just doing this for you guys, and hopefully it'll be a good learning experience for everyone. First things first, all we gotta do is detach this wire, unplug this, and then take these little notches out and remove this plastic. So let's get to it. One down, 3 to go. If you guys are wondering, I'm just using like a trim tool. Just gonna take a quick picture of where I found these, so that way 2 hours from now, if I forget where these go, I'll have evidence. All right, so as you can see, we just finished removing this trim. It was very easy. We only had to use one tool, and we removed these plastic, I don't even know what to call these, buttons? They're not screws, just like plastic bolts. But now, as per the instructions, we gotta unclamp these things. All right, we did it. We used this one. This thing right here took 20 minutes for me to take off. I'm sweating. But now that we have this hose and both the clamps off, we can go ahead and remove this middle clamp right over here. So we took out the entire airbox assembly over here. It was a T40 to remove these black ones. And then we use a 10mm socket to remove these ones. But this is what the left side looks right now. Turbos are exposed, just covering it with a towel so nothing goes inside. And now, everything we did on this side, we have to do on that side.
3:28 a.m.
Over here, one of my friends actually revved the car so that way we could see if there were any air leaks coming out of the intake system where it shouldn't be leaking from. But thankfully from our test, there were no air leaks, so the install went very well, even though it took forever. It took like 5 hours to install this air intake system.
Tomorrow.
That install took absolutely forever, but was it worth it? You tell me. Just take a look at this dry carbon fiber. It looks absolutely amazing. Now, one of the reasons why I installed this was because I thought even with a closed housing system like this, that you could actually hear some of like the whooshing, but in actuality, you can't. Here's what it sounds like. Yeah, so basically the whole point of having this system was obviously for the performance gains, but like I said before, I thought I was gonna get some kind of sound increase, but you actually don't. And in that sound clip you just heard, I actually took the blow-off valves off. So that's what the car sounds like with no blow-off valves. But you guys know me, I like my blow-off sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and install them back on. A lot of people think with blow-off valves that you actually lose performance, and in my like 4 or 5 years of having them on the car, well, on this car and the previous car, I had no issues with boost at all. So with the intake system, you get the performance upgrade, but you don't get the sound. I kind of didn't want to do an open system because then it wouldn't be a cold air intake. It would be like a hot air intake because you would have the filters right over here completely exposed. The pros outweigh the cons with this system, and that's why I got it. Huge thanks to Evan Turi for hooking it up, because this thing is absolutely beautiful. They claim 15 to 25 horsepower gains, so with the intake system, you get this beautiful looking thing, and you get the performance upgrade, but you don't get the sound. So in order to get the sound, we're gonna put the blow-off valves back on. And we are gonna do it right here, right now, in this abandoned area. Hopefully no one comes and stabs me while I do this. I'm gonna give myself a challenge. I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes to install these blow-off valves. So I kind of have to put the camera down to do this, but I'll start the timer right now. All right, now time to do the other side. Oh, sorry guys, I dropped you. And we didn't make it. Well guys, we just removed this one. We still have to put this blow-off valve back on. And a couple minutes later, we are done. We have the blow-off valves back on. And let's turn it on. Let's take a quick listen. I can finally be that guy where we go to car shows, I can pop my hood open so that way people can look inside the engine bay because there's actually something different in there. If you guys are curious to hear what it sounds like from inside the cabin, here you go. I'm not gonna talk. Okay, let me put it in comfort mode because the exhaust bank is kind of muted. Yeah, it's very noticeable inside the cabin as well. We have some more mods coming for the car. We have some downpipes coming, and then we have my new steering wheel coming. If you guys are wondering where the other one went, I kind of like this OEM shape better, so we're switching it out with the OEM shape, and we're still getting the same spec though, with the dry carbon on top, with the yellow stitching, the Alcantara bag, you know, the good stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.